Remember the bell rang late, like someone hesitated to push the button. We were just settling in for last period science, nothing serious, just worksheets about tectonic plates and some half-hearted scribbling from the back row. Miss Harper had already started complaining about the noise when the announcement cut in. Attention staff and students, we are now under lockdown. This is not a drill, I repeat, this is not a drill. Everything paused, even the pencils. No one moved at first. Then there were gasps, nervous giggles, and that usual flurry of, "What's going on?" Ms. Harper's face went pale in a way I'd never seen before. Not angry pale, not stressed pale, just blank. "Get away from the windows, lights off, behind the lab benches, now!" No arguing, no talking, just a mad shuffle as we piled into the corner behind the biggest row of tables, knees bumping, backpacks awkwardly clutched like they could stop bullets. Someone whispered, "Is it a shooter?" Another kid shushed them immediately. I pressed my back against the cold wall and tried not to breathe loud. Then we waited. The school always said they were ready for situations like this. We'd had drills, run, hide, fight, posters in the hallways, funny acronyms meant to keep us safe. But drills were clean, organized. This was not. From the crack of light between the lab bench and the floor, I saw shadows rushing past the hallway. Teachers locking doors, someone sobbing, a few kids in the next classroom over banging against the wall because they thought it was funny. But no one laughed in ours. Not even Jackson, who made fart noises during every test. 15 minutes in, the rumor started. Phones had been pulled out, muted but glowing. Texts from siblings, group chats lighting up like Christmas. "Some guy jumped the fence, face covered in blood. He ran straight across the field. Cops outside the school now. They're saying he's not from here, maybe on drugs." No one knew anything for sure, but the one thing we did know was that he wasn't in the school. He'd passed through, fast, running. Then he vanished. Vanished. Into where exactly? Miss Harper stayed close to the door, breathing through her nose like she was trying not to panic. I saw her check the lock twice, then 3 times. She had her phone in her hand, but she didn't use it. She just stared at the door. It was strange. The man wasn't inside. There wasn't an active threat in the building. But somehow, knowing he'd been that close, just one fence, one bad decision, one lucky break away from being right outside our classroom made it worse. Like a shadow had run past us, and we'd missed it by seconds. 20 minutes in, the noise started. Not outside, inside. Us. Kids, after all, aren't made to stay still for long. One kid kept asking if he could use the bathroom. Another was scrolling on TikTok with the brightness turned way too high. The glow lit up our hiding corner like a lantern. A couple kids started talking like it was a sleepover. I didn't join in. I kept watching the small sliver of hallway I could see through the cracked door window. Nothing moved out there, but the air felt heavy. Like something could at any second, and maybe that was the scariest part. 35 minutes. A knock at the door. Soft. 2 times. Miss Harper stiffened. A voice followed, muffled and calm. "This is Officer Ray, school resource. You're still in lockdown. We're clearing rooms. Please remain where you are." No one moved. We'd been told not to open doors unless an all clear came over the PA. But Miss Harper called out, voice shaking. "How do we know it's you?" A pause. Then, "Harper, It's me. Red notebook. You left it in the office last Tuesday. That was enough. Her shoulders dropped half an inch. But she didn't unlock the door. Smart. Outside, I saw the flashing lights, police cruisers, one ambulance parked across the street, a few teachers speaking with officers, some of them crying. I didn't see the man, but I saw the path. The fence near the far field was bent inward, like something hit it hard. A streak of something dark led across the grass. Not much, just enough to make your stomach twist. A neighbor across the street stood on their porch, arms crossed, watching us with eyes that didn't blink. We went home early that day. 40 minutes in, the PA finally crackled back to life. Attention staff and students, the lockdown has been lifted. Law enforcement has confirmed that there is no active threat on school grounds. People exhaled like they'd been holding their breath the whole time. Backpacks shifted, joints cracked. Someone actually clapped. A few kids started gathering their stuff, even though class technically wasn't over. But no one moved until Miss Harper said we could. Even then, we walked like ghosts. The man? No one ever said who he was. Some said he'd escaped something terrible, a car crash, an assault, said he was running to safety, not from it. Others claimed drugs, delusion. One kid swore he had a knife. Another said he was mumbling something over and over, but no one caught the words. The school stayed quiet about it. Just an email to our parents full of vague reassurances and procedural language. But we remembered. 40 minutes in a locked room doesn't just disappear. Now I sit near the back of class. I still glance at the door sometimes, without meaning to. Sometimes the heater kicks on suddenly and my heart jumps. Sometimes a janitor walks by and I stare too long before realizing it's just the mop bucket squeaking. But most days it's normal, boring even, until the next siren, the next buzz, the next shadow crossing just a little too close. Because deep down, every one of us knows it only takes one person, one fence, one cut, one decision to bring the outside in. If you like watching these type of scary stories, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for more freshly new content.